Untold Black Stories. Story number 1. I am not her nanny.
My name is Maya. Most mornings, before the noise of the world kicks in, there's a stillness I love. A kind of quiet that feels like a fresh start. The sky still soft with light. The air cool. It's a moment that feels like it belongs only to us. I usually wake up before my daughter, Lily. I make tea, open the window a little, just enough to feel the day starting. And when she stirs, when her sleepy little feet patter down the hallway, everything feels right. She's 4 now. That magical age where everything is a question and every answer is a doorway to more. She asks why the sun follows us to the park. Why squirrels don't wear jackets. Whether clouds are soft or just pretend. She has my curls, wild and free, never doing what you ask them to, and her father's smile, the kind that makes strangers feel like they know you. Every morning we have the same little ritual. We pack snacks she never eats, pick out a sweater she always removes, and head to the park. Just the two of us. She loves the swings. I give her little pushes while pretending they're big ones, and she squeals like it's a roller coaster. Her joy is so pure it makes everything else, the bills, the emails, the headlines, disappear. That morning felt the same. Until it didn't. I noticed him before he said anything. A police officer, walking toward us. Not in a rush. Not even with urgency. Just, approaching. I felt it before I knew it. That chill in my stomach. The tightening in my chest. I've never broken the law. Never even gotten a parking ticket. But being black, it's enough. Enough to be stopped. Enough to be questioned. Enough to feel that fear, even in a playground. He didn't come with sirens. He didn't shout. He just walked up to a mother and her daughter, and made the world tilt sideways. And that's where it began. Not because I did something wrong. Not because she did. But because I'm black. And she isn't. I gave birth to Lily on a Tuesday afternoon. The room was full of light, and Jake, my husband, wouldn't stop pacing. He was nervous and excited and, honestly, completely useless. But I loved him for it. When she came out, screaming and tiny and red, he cried harder than she did. I remember looking at him, holding her for the first time, and thinking, we really made her. Jake is white. I'm black. And Lily is a storm of soft. She's a mix of us both, golden skin, big curious eyes, and this way of looking at the world like she's already figured it out. Our life isn't glamorous. It's loud and messy and full of routines. Saturday mornings mean pancakes, always a little burnt on one side, because Jake refuses to use a timer. Every night before bed, I read to Lily, even if she's half asleep. Sometimes she pretends she's reading to me. Sometimes she tells stories that make absolutely no sense, but I listen like they're poetry. Our fridge is covered in drawings. Princesses, dragons, a very specific yellow crayon she says is sunshine and mac and cheese combined. We dance in the kitchen while spaghetti boils. We build blanket forts that stay up for days. We argue over bedtime and agree on hugs. We're a family. Just like any other. But I've learned that when you don't look like the people you love, the world doesn't always see that. When Lily was born, some nurses congratulated Jake and looked past me, like I was the friend, or the doula, or just, there. When I took her to her first pediatric appointment, the receptionist asked me to fill out the guardian section. Jake laughed when I told him. Said people just don't know better. But I wasn't laughing. It's not just about ignorance. It's about erasure. About how some people only see family when it comes in matching tones. Still, I held my head up. We made jokes. We kept living. But deep down, I started counting. The looks. The pauses. The questions that aren't really questions. And eventually, it started to add up. The first time someone asked if I was Lily's nanny, she was barely a year old. We were at the grocery store. I had her strapped to me in a wrap, her little curls peeking out, drooling onto my chest. A woman in the produce section leaned in with a smile, that kind of tight, performative smile people wear when they're trying to be friendly. She's adorable, she said. Thank you, I answered. Do you watch her full time? I paused. She's my daughter. Her face twitched. Just for a second. A flicker of something between surprise and discomfort. Oh, she said. Well, that's lovely. And then she turned away. It was subtle. So subtle. But it stayed with me for days. I told Jake about it that night. He said people just assume things. That I shouldn't let it get to me. But it wasn't just that one time. At a restaurant, a hostess asked if I was waiting for the child's parents. At a park, a mom offered me a business card for a nanny agency. One time in a cafe, I was sipping tea while Lily colored beside me. A woman sat across from us, total stranger, and said, "She's very light-skinned." Is her dad white? No hello. No context. Just curiosity dressed up as entitlement. Some days I laughed it off. Some days I didn't. What they were really saying was this. You don't look like her. So how could she possibly be yours? That kind of question doesn't just sting, it chips away at something deeper. It tells you you're being watched. Judged. Measured against some invisible standard of what a mother should look like. And when it happens enough times, you stop feeling surprised. And you start feeling tired. It was a Tuesday. Mid-morning. The park was half empty, just a few moms pushing strollers, two teens tossing a football, and birds arguing over breadcrumbs near the bench. Lily ran ahead, her curls bouncing in every direction, her shoes lighting up with every step. She picked the same swing she always did, the middle one, because it feels faster. I gave her a gentle push, then another, pretending to grunt with effort just to make her laugh. She screamed like it was the wildest ride in the world. That laugh, it's medicine. It makes everything else fade. Until I saw him. A police officer. Alone. Walking across the grass toward us. No rush. No sirens. No visible reason. Just a slow, deliberate approach that made my heart start to race. I've learned to trust that feeling. The one that curls in your stomach. The one that tells you, something's about to happen. He stopped about 10 feet away, hand resting on his belt, eyes scanning first me, then Lily. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said. I turned. "Yes? Is this your child?" Lily stopped swinging. I saw her confusion, that wrinkle in her little forehead that always comes right before she asks, "Why?" "She's my daughter," I said, calmly. "We received a call," he continued. Someone was concerned. Said there was a woman here with a child who didn't seem to match. Didn't seem to match. I felt my ears burn. What exactly does that mean? I asked. Well, he glanced at Lily, then back at me. She looks different from you. Different. My mouth was dry. My hands were starting to tremble, but I didn't let them show it. Would you like to see a birth certificate? I asked. Or maybe a scrapbook? He didn't laugh. I pulled out my wallet, showed him a photo of the three of us. Another one of Lily in my arms as a baby. A medical card with both our names. He took them. Studied them. Didn't say much. Then he asked, "Is her father around?" "He's at work," I replied. "Does he know you're here today?" And there it was. That moment where all my motherhood, my love, my presence, was being treated like a question mark. Like I needed permission to exist with my own daughter in public. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I didn't scream like I wanted to. I stood there, stone still, clutching Lily's small hand in mine, while a stranger decided whether I belonged. After several more minutes, he handed my things back. "Sorry, ma'am. Just doing our job. Thank you for cooperating." I nodded. Not because I accepted it, but because I needed it to be over. He walked away. Slowly. Casually. As if he hadn't just carved something sharp into my memory. I turned back to Lily. She was watching me closely. "Mommy, why did the police talk to you?" I bent down, kissed her forehead. Because some people don't understand us yet, baby. But we're okay. I smiled. But inside, I wasn't okay. Inside, something had shifted. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not even a little. I tried. I tried to distract myself, folded laundry I didn't need to, wiped down already clean counters, scrolled endlessly on my phone. But it was no use. That moment kept replaying. The questions. His eyes. The feeling of being measured, doubted, almost erased. Lily had fallen asleep hours earlier. She was curled against me, one arm flung across my stomach like a seatbelt. I watched her chest rise and fall. She looked peaceful. And I wondered, what did she understand? She was there. She saw the officer. Heard him. Watched me go stiff like stone. Children might not know all the words. But they feel everything. And I hated that she had to witness that. I hated that I had to stand there and act calm when inside I was unraveling. Around midnight, I sat up in bed and went to the bathroom. I turned on the light, looked in the mirror, and just stared. My reflection didn't look like a stranger. It looked like a mother. A woman. Tired. Angry. Not just because of what happened in the park. But because it wasn't the first time. And it wouldn't be the last. When I climbed back into bed, Lily stirred. She opened one sleepy eye and whispered. "Mommy, why was that man so mad at you?" I froze. My heart cracked. I wanted to say, he wasn't. I wanted to say, it's okay. But the truth caught in my throat. What could I say to a 4-year-old? That the world sees me differently? That love, for some, is only believable when it looks a certain way? So I held her close and kissed the top of her head. Some people don't understand yet, I said. But they will. Then I whispered the words I wanted her to carry, always. You are mine. And I am yours. Nothing changes that. The next morning, I woke up tired. But not in the usual mom-tired way. This was deeper. In my bones. In my spirit. Like I was carrying something invisible, but heavy. I made breakfast like always. Lily wanted cereal and bananas. Jake kissed my forehead and headed to work. Everything looked the same. But nothing felt the same. I kept thinking about what had happened. The way that officer looked at me. The way I had to prove I was a mother. The way Lily watched it all. And I thought, what if I stay silent? What message does that send her? So I opened my phone. I didn't know what I was going to write at first. I just started typing. Letting it pour out. Yesterday, I was stopped by police while playing with my daughter at the park. Someone called and said I didn't match her. I had to show proof. Of my own child. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't suspicious. I was pushing her on a swing. But to someone, my blackness was enough to raise alarm. And then I wrote. I am not her nanny. I am her mother. I hit post before I could second-guess myself. I put my phone down and went back to our day, coloring with Lily, folding laundry, trying not to think about it. A few hours later, I checked the post. Dozens of comments. Then hundreds. Women, moms, from everywhere writing back. This happened to me too. I'm white and my son's black. They asked him if he was lost. My daughter is mixed, and people ask if I'm adopting her. I started to cry. Not because I was sad. But because for the first time I felt seen. We think we're alone. That what happened to us was a fluke. A misunderstanding. But then you open your mouth, or your phone, and realize. You're part of something bigger. Something ugly. Something painful. But also, something that can change. And that change begins with truth. And truth begins when we speak. The next few days, my phone didn't stop buzzing. Messages poured in, some from friends, others from strangers. Moms. Dads. Aunts. Uncles. Teachers. Black women. Asian women. White women with black children. Mixed families. Adoptive parents. Foster caregivers. All of them had stories. One woman wrote, "My daughter is biracial. A teacher asked if I was authorized to pick her up from school." Another said, "My husband is Mexican, I'm white, and people ask if I'm babysitting our own son." A black father wrote, "My daughter is pale. They ask her if I'm her Uber driver." It was endless. And then I found the numbers. According to a recent study, 1 in 5 interracial families in the US has experienced a moment where their family bond was publicly questioned. Not because of behavior. Not because of danger. But because people couldn't wrap their heads around the idea of love looking like this. I started collecting headlines. Black mom questioned by police at playground. Biracial family asked for proof of parenthood. White father accused of kidnapping mixed-race son. It was like seeing versions of my own story scattered across the country. Different names. Different parks. Different zip codes. But the same fear. The same erasure. I realized something that chilled me. This wasn't a fluke. This wasn't just me. This was a pattern. And patterns, if left unspoken, become systems. And systems, if left unchallenged, become truths. A few days later, I took Lily back to the same park. I almost didn't. I thought about changing our route. Finding a new playground. Avoiding that space altogether. But then I looked at her. The way she laced her little fingers through mine and asked, "Can we go to the fast swing again?" And I knew. We were going back. Same bench. Same patch of grass. Same sunlight spilling through the trees. But this time I walked differently. My shoulders were a little straighter. My eyes met every glance. Not with defiance. But with truth. Because I wanted the world to see. I wanted them to see what love looks like when it doesn't fit inside their boxes. What motherhood looks like when it refuses to apologize. What black women look like when they refuse to shrink. Lily ran to the swing and shouted, "Push me, Mommy." And I did. I pushed her like I always do. Only this time I pushed away the doubt, too. The shame that wasn't mine to carry. The weight of being questioned just for loving my child. And as she soared forward, laughing, arms wide, I felt something lift. That moment wasn't for the officer. Or the woman who called. Or the strangers who stare. It was for me. For Lily. For every mother who's ever had to defend what should be sacred. And for every child who's ever wondered why love made people uncomfortable. I am her mother. And I always will be. She doesn't need to look like me to belong to me. She is mine, not by permission, but by heart. Not because of matching skin, but because of unbreakable bond. Love doesn't come in one color. But the world still hasn't learned how to see that. Not yet. But I believe, one day, it will.
Thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of this story? Have you ever experienced something similar or know someone who has? Drop a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. And if you have a story to share, you can email us anonymously. The address is in the video description. Every story matters.